British Indian actress. Her name is Jameela Jamil. It is like the most Indian sounding name ever. But it's also kind of like ghetto coded, is it not? That being said, she went on a podcast and recently talked about how much she hates British people. Watch this. It is very amusing.
I'm so lucky to have been a part of that show. It was so well written. And Megan Amram as well is one of the lead writers on that show who just wrote the shit out of Tahani. And so together we all crafted her. But I just had to make her more of a bitch. They wanted her to be very sweet because Americans think British people are so sweet, which is crazy because British people are truly the most evil people in history. Like they are Thanos. Britain is Thanos.
Go to a museum, guys.
Yeah, they owe 43 trillion to India.
Maybe go to Shelter Firehouse and leave there and be like, wait, was that girl mean to me? Like everyone's mean.
But we colonized the world.
Or just the artifacts in the museums. I'm like, why is that not in Africa?
Yeah, I'm so lucky to have been a part of that show. It was
So of course that $43 trillion is of course that's also inflated. Like where are you getting that stat from? They just literally make things up. It's that meme. You can just make up Black history, but then she's doing it in the Indian version. You could just make up Indian history. You stole $43 trillion worth of stuff from India. Like, okay, if India is that great, like why is it not? Why is it still the way that it is today? Like, what are you talking about? So obviously that number is crazy inflated. But I don't understand why native citizens tolerate foreigners and immigrants coming into their country and talking about how much they hate their country. Like, why do you tolerate this? Why should we ever tolerate this? If a white person came into Africa, an African country, let's name an African country like Senegal, and started going on podcasts and news tours and talking about how much they hate Senegal and want Senegal needs to apologize for their past. They're genocidal maniacs. They're such evil people. I think the Senegalese people have every right to deport that white person. And it's like, okay, yeah, but then we don't hold that same standard for Western countries, and Westerners don't hold that same standard for themselves. It is such cowardice and foolishness. What are we doing? Why do you tolerate this? And Korea is increasingly doing this too, because there's so many foreigners in Korea who literally their entire content in Korea is crapping on Korea and talking about how much they hate Korea. And I'm like, if you hate Korea, leave. But if they're not going to leave, I don't know why Koreans just don't take it within their own volition and in their own actions. They just deport these people. They're guests in your country and they hate everything about your country and they hate everything about you. Why should we tolerate guests like that? Like if you, in your home, if you had a guest who came over and talked about how much they hate you and your family, what is the reason? Why should you accommodate them? You'd be like, okay, you can, there's the door, you can get out. Every time someone came over your home, not only every time they come over, but they literally are living in your home, under your roof that you pay for, because we know this is a proper analogy because why? So much of American, British, Western taxes are going to fund illegals and migrants and foreigners. If someone in your home was squatting in your home, living under your roof, eating your food, and every single day they're complaining about how much they hate you and your family, would you tolerate that? How much they hate you and your family and your children, your wife, your kids. Would you tolerate that? No one in their right mind would tolerate that. Then why do people in the West tolerate that for their countries? I don't understand. And at the end of the day, it's all about when these foreigners come to your country, maybe the first generation, fine. Maybe they're looking for better opportunities. But you see the second and third generation immigrants, like they are always the ones who want to enact ethnic revenge on the West because my ancestors were colonized by the West. Like it's always about ethnic revenge. And so they're foreign hostiles in your own country, on your own soil. Deport them. There's no reason not to. And the funniest thing about Jameela Jamil is, guess what? Radical in the streets, colonized in the sheets, never, ever ask. An anti-colonialist, a foreign leftist, bobolib, whatever. Never ask the race of her boyfriend. Look at this. And so Jameela Jamil says, British people are the most evil people in history. They're Thanos, right? We owe $43 million to India, which is, of course, again, it's a made-up number. She literally got it out of her butt. This is her boyfriend of apparently 11 years. His name is James Blake. He's a singer-songwriter in Britain. Truly, truly incredible that every single anti-colonialist, every single leftist activist who is of a racial minority, whether it's a Boboliv, an Asian, an Indian, a Mexican, yeah, they are always dating a white guy. Now, you might be asking, why is that? And yes, I do think a small portion of it is that there are certain women who are so unhinged with their leftism and their grievance politics and their anti-colonialism that they want to reverse colonize the white man. So I think that's a part of it. But the majority, the key to all of this, to understand why this happens, are you ready? It's because they're deeply insecure in their own skin. That's all it is. That's why they are such ardent anti-colonialist activists, and they air their grievances constantly about white people. Because why? Because they grew up feeling insecure in their own skin, and the only way they feel secure is if they are in the good graces and the arms of white people. That's all it is. That's all it is. So whenever they start accusing me or any minority or any non-white person of trying to be white, trying to lick the boot of the white man, it is all projection of their own inferiority complex and in their own insecurities. That's why they write books about how much they were scared and they're bullied, and they were so scared to open their lunchbox during lunch because white people would make fun of them, white kids would make fun of them. I don't know. I never cared. When my mom packed me some kimchi for lunch, well, she never did, because thing about a lot of Koreans is that they are very accommodating and they're very polite. And then so she's like, okay, kimchi smells like farts to the non-Korean. Therefore, yeah, maybe don't bring kimchi, but here, I'll give you some other non-smelly side dishes and rice and maybe some roasted seaweed, some fried rice. Here, take this. I opened it during lunch, and you know what I did? I wasn't like, oh, I'm scared they're gonna judge me. No, I ate it happily. Why? Because my mother gave it to me. My mother made me that food. God bless my mother. I was thankful for that food. And it's all projection. It's all projection. Like, they're all insecure. That's why they cannot find an identity apart from white people. That is literally these leftist activists. And so the reason why they are radical in the streets and colonized in the sheets is because their entire identity is built on, it's an outpouring and a manifestation of their own insecurity and their inferiority complex. And their jealousy, their envy and their resentment towards white people, because they see white people as inherently superior. And so they only feel comfortable and secure, and they're just all the anxiety and the identity issues that they're grappling through, that it all becomes resolved to them in their own mind when they are in the good graces and dating and being loved by a white man. That's all it is. This is just how they operate. And you have to understand this. This is why they do what they do. So whenever they insult you, whenever they insult me about you're obsessed with white people, or you just want to be white so bad. Yeah, it's all projection. Know that, dear viewer. And then so last thing I'll say is that she says British people were the most evil people in history, which is objectively not true. We know that. We know the Aztecs were more brutal. Were the British people sacrificing babies to rain gods? Taking apart, ripping each child's tooth one by one because they believe each tear translated to better harvest for more rain? Yeah, were the British people going around and mass raping, mass cannibalizing, eating each other? No, those are third worldists. And there were so many other empires in history, whether it was the Assyrians, whether the Mongolians, they were way more evil than the British Empire. Even think about the Soviets. Think about the communists in the past century. Hundreds of millions of innocent people slaughtered, tortured, starved to death. Oh, but the British Empire was evil. Why? Here's a good list. And this man, James Price, has a great breakdown. That this is the legacy of the British Empire. My ancestors were the first people in history to fight to end slavery. True. They spread the common law across the world. True. They stopped Indians from burning widows alive so that they wouldn't have to pay to feed them after the husbands had died. True. They stood against the Nazis. They invented and built a modern world with technology and medicine that started to defeat death and disease. They invented economics and democracy as we know it. My ancestors were great people. Without them, the world would be an immeasurably darker and more wicked place. Never again let entitled actors who know nothing about anything browbeat you into feeling shame for your ancestors. Britain and Western civilization are the greatest expressions of human flourishing in the history of the world. Be proud of the ancestors who fought and toiled and sacrificed for that. Don't ever be ashamed of the greatness of our inheritance. Yeah. True. That's what the British Empire did. Before the British Empire, slavery was common. The British Empire was the first people. They were the first ones to end slavery. You know William Wilberforce? I'm sure Jameela Jamil doesn't know who the heck William Wilberforce is, who was a Christian patriot who sought to and fought to and succeeded in ending chattel slavery. The British Empire, before India and, Australia, the indigenous in Australia, before in America, the indigenous tribes here in America. Yeah, before the British Empire, they were just killing each other and eating each other. What was India doing? I mean, just read the accounts of the British, quote unquote, colonizers when they first encountered Indians in India. Oh, it's horrific. I can't even say it. I'll probably get banned on YouTube for describing it. Yeah. The Brits, and mainly Christian Brits, were the ones who brought civilization to so much of the world. You wouldn't even have civilization without the Brits. And this is not me glazing the Brits all that much, but objectively, the British Empire was the most powerful empire all of human history, and they objectively spread a lot of good. That doesn't excuse the harm and the hurt that certain British people did through colonization, but objectively, because of the British Empire, so many things improved throughout the world, whether it's for human rights, whether it's for standard of living, whether it's stopping atrocities and baby sacrifice and mass slaughter and cannibalism. Yeah, the British Empire, the British people have nothing to apologize for. So stop listening to entitled foreigners like Jameela Jamil, who at the end of the day, they just want a white dude. That's it. Like they're not hypocrites. You have to understand, they're not hypocrites. They're just very unwell, spiritually unwell, toxic, entitled brats. And the solution is just to deport these people. I don't understand. Like, I'm not even saying to deport every single foreigner. I'm saying to deport the ones who hate America. And then the ones who love America, the ones who love Britain, maybe they can stay. Maybe. But even then, it's like these foreigners have a home to go back to. Like clearly this woman identifies more with India than she does with Britain. Yeah, like she has a home to go back to. And if she goes to India, like most of the people around her are going to love her and celebrate her. Okay, go back. If they deported me, I have Korea to go back to. But where do Americans have to go back to? Okay, they have Britain because Britain's the motherland. Okay, where do Brits have to go back to then? London looks like Londonistan. Half of London are Muslim migrants and Indians. Where do Brits have to go back to? Where do the French have to go back to? They have nowhere. So it is incumbent on them, and it is incumbent on you, if you're a European patriot, to reclaim your home and your heritage.